You know them, the yellow family with the blue hair, the chaotic pranks, the couch gags. But lurking beneath the laughs, the satire, and the doughnuts, there's a side of The Simpsons you've never dared to rewatch. For over 30 years, The Simpsons pushed boundaries. But some episodes crossed a line into territory so dark, so unhinged, they left fans questioning, how did this ever air? We're talking self-cannibalism, apocalyptic dolphins, and teachers turning students into meatloaf. These weren't just Halloween specials. They were nightmares disguised as animation. Moments where Bart's pranks became prophecies, Lisa's idealism unleashed hell, and Homer's gluttony turned literal. Behind the bright colors and quirky jokes, The Simpsons hid secrets that rewrote the rules of comedy and horror. Secrets so controversial, they sparked debates. Secrets so shocking, they're still dissected in Reddit threads 20 years later. But tonight, we're not just revisiting these moments, we're dissecting them. Why did the writers go this dark? What did fans really think? And how did these episodes slip past censors? Grab your remote, turn off the lights, and ask yourself, are you ready to see The Simpsons unmasked? The gremlin on the bus. In Treehouse of Horror 4, Bart isn't just pulling pranks, he's trapped in a nightmare. After a vision of his classmates dying in a fiery crash, he boards the bus the next day, only to spot a creature clawing at the windows. Not a hallucination, not a joke, a gremlin, ripping the bus apart screw by screw. But here's the twist. No one believes him. Not Milhouse, not Principal Skinner, not even Otto, the bus driver who's literally steering them toward disaster. Instead of panic, laughter. Where's your diaper, baby? They mock. Even Lisa dismisses him until the bus swerves and the gremlin's sabotage becomes undeniable. Skinner ties Bart to a chair, calling him disruptive. The gremlin, still out there dismantling the wheel. Bart's final scream, "Stop the bus or we're all gonna die," is met with eye rolls. Until Ned Flanders finds the creature's corpse later. Some sort of hideous monster, he shrieks. But by then, the damage is done. This wasn't just a Halloween gag. It was a masterclass in psychological horror. Because the real monster wasn't the gremlin. It was the adults refusing to listen. And if you think that's dark, buckle up. The next entry makes cannibalism look quaint. But if you think that's disturbing, wait until Homer Simpson becomes his own worst enemy. And dinner, Homer's descent into self-devouring madness. In Treehouse of Horror 28, Homer isn't just eating junk food. He's eating himself. Left alone while the family vacations, Homer's isolation spirals into madness. A spoiled 10-foot sandwich becomes his first victim. Then his own finger. Medium rare, he muses, roasting his severed digit like a ribeye. But this isn't just shock value. It's a slow, visceral unraveling. The more Homer consumes himself, the more he craves it. I suddenly understood why I tasted so good, he admits. A line equal parts hilarious and horrifying. By the time Marge returns, he's a limbless torso begging to be turned into pate. The punchline, Homer's final act of self-cannibalism, makes him a culinary legend. His remains become a gourmet delicacy served at a 5-star restaurant. The secret ingredient is hate. The chef smirks. Dark? Absolutely. But it's also a brutal metaphor for addiction and how far we'll go to fill our voids. While Homer ate himself alive, another villain returned from the grave with a hair-raising twist. Death couldn't stop Snake Jailbird. Not even 3 strikes could keep this criminal down. Because in The Simpsons' darkest timeline, revenge isn't just a dish best served cold, it's served through Homer's Snake's vengeful hair from beyond the grave. Snake's crimes were legendary, torching orphanages, blowing up nuns allegedly in self-defense, and threatening Bart with a lifetime of nightmares. But when his third strike landed him on death row, fans thought it was over. Oh, how wrong they were. After his execution, Snake's body was donated to science. But here's the twist. His hair wasn't done killing. Homer, desperate for a lush bad boy mane, snagged Snake's follicles in a back alley transplant. What followed wasn't just a midlife crisis. It was a possession. At first, Homer loved his new look. "I'm a snack," he bragged, until the nightmares began. Visions of Moe's tavern burning, Apu's terrified face, and Bart, always Bart, screaming as shadowy hands clawed at his throat. Then the control began. Homer's hand moved on its own, stabbing Moe with a corkscrew. His voice snarled threats at Apu, and his hair? It twisted into Snake's sneer, hissing, "Time to finish what I started, little dude." The climax wasn't just horror, it was body horror. Homer, half shaved and screaming, wrestled his own scalp as it lunged for Bart. "Get it off!" Bart begged, but the hair latched onto his face, suffocating him. Even Ned Flanders' screams couldn't drown out the wet, chewing sounds. In the end, Wiggum solved it with a bullet. "Bad head, eh?" he joked. But the damage was done. Homer's vanity cost 2 lives, Bart's trust, and Springfield's sanity. And Snake? His final laugh echoed through the credits. See you in the next follicle. But if you think vengeful hair was the limit, wait until Lisa's dolphin uprising. The apocalypse nobody saw coming. Lisa Simpson's heart was always in the right place. But in Treehouse of Horror 11, her compassion unleashed an aquatic nightmare that drowned Springfield in terror. It starts innocently enough. Lisa, ever the activist, frees Snorky, Marine World's star dolphin, from captivity. "Swim to freedom," she declares, oblivious to the horror she's just uncaged. Because Snorky isn't just a dolphin. He's the king of a species with a 10,000-year-old grudge. Turns out, dolphins weren't always ocean-bound. They ruled the land until humans exiled them to the sea. And Snorky? He's done with cold, wet mornings and sewage-filled waters. His plan? Swap places. Humans get gills, dolphins get cities. And Lisa? She gets a front row seat to the end of the world. The attack starts subtly. Lenny vanishes during a midnight swim. Then, a news anchor chokes mid-broadcast. Killer dolphins. Before his microphone picks up gurgling screams. Chief Wiggum blames rowdy teens. The mayor? He's too busy admitting we're all frightened and horny to notice the clicking outside City Hall. The showdown is peak Simpsons horror. Snorky, flanked by an army of dolphins, delivers a speech that chills. Your time is over. The sea is cold, it's wet, and tonight it's yours. The dolphins force the townsfolk into the ocean, their screams bubbling away as gills slit their necks. Even Marge tries to downplay it. It's just an adjustment. The kicker? Lisa's guilt. "I wished I hadn't freed him," she cries. Selma's descent into Duff Garden's madness. Forget sea monsters and killer hair. The Simpsons' most unsettling horror isn't supernatural. It's biological. And Selma Bouvier's quest for motherhood takes family-friendly fun to a hallucinatory hell. Don't die lonely, raise a family now. Aunt Gladys, ghostly voicemail. Selma's crisis begins with a funeral. Her spinster aunt's final message? Don't end up like me. Cue the midlife panic. Dating disasters, love potions from a back alley gypsy, and a cringe-worthy video resume begging for a husband. But when even Hans Moleman rejects her, Selma does the unthinkable. artificial insemination. You'd have to be desperate to make it with a robot. Homer scoffs. Oh, Homer, just wait. But first, a test run. Marge dumps Bart and Lisa on Selma for a day at Duff Gardens, Springfield's dystopian parody of Disneyland. What follows isn't just a bad trip, it's a psychological breakdown. The ride starts innocently. Then the music warps. The doll's eyes follow Selma. Lisa, pressured by Bart, drinks water from the ride's rancid river and loses her mind. They're all around me, she screams, clawing at her face as the walls pulse with neon grotesqueries. Bart? He's too busy taunting her to notice his ride, a roller coaster for kids 4 foot and up, is hurtling off the rails. By the time park security drags Lisa, swimming naked in the fermentarium, and Bart, too short for the bone breaker, back to Selma, she's snapped. How do you do it, Homer? She sobs, clutching a souvenir plushie like a lifeline. Homer's answer? A shrug and a rotting 10-foot sandwich? Classy. But if you think Selma's desperation is dark, wait until Ned Flanders trades Bibles for bloodshed and turns the Super Bowl into a holy war. Ned Flanders' Holy War. When Bible films turned bloodier than Saw. From artificial insemination to divine insanity, hold on to your hymnals. Ned Flanders, Springfield's godliest neighbor, just swapped cookies for carnage and turned the Bible into a snuff film. It starts with good intentions. Ned, disgusted by TV's sinful shows, decides to make his own movies. Wholesome movies, biblical movies. But when Reverend Lovejoy suggests adapting Cain and Abel, Ned takes Sunday school to a Saw-level nightmare. The footage is gruesome. Abel's death scene, 8 takes of Todd fake sobbing as Rod hacks him with a plastic knife. The kicker? Ned's insistence on realism. When Mr. Burns offers to fund his next project, Ned agrees. Unaware, Burns is laundering money, killing 2 birds with 1 tithe. Burns cackles. Things spiral. Ned's sequel, David and Bathsheba, features topless masseuses and a baby murdering prophet. Marge walks in mid-shoot. I killed a baby, I'm a monster, and extra wails. Ned defends it. Sexy King David stole wives. Mary Magdalene was a hooker. Lisa's rebuttal. The Bible also says, love thy neighbor. But okay, the Pièce de Resistance, Ned's Noah's Ark halftime show at the Super Bowl. Homer, desperate for ideas, partners with Ned. The result? Cheerleaders drowned by CGI floods. A 50-foot animatronic Noah screaming, repent, and 100 million viewers staring in horror. The backlash is instant. Keep your Bible thumping out of our touchdowns, tweets one dad. But Ned's triumphant? We made history, he beams, oblivious to Burns' empire collapsing. Marge's final blow? A boycott that bankrupts Burns and leaves Ned sobbing in an empty church. But if you think Bible horror pushed limits, wait until Homer books a family vacation where the mascots want you dead. Itchy and Scratchy Land, where family fun meets robotic slaughter. Forget Holy Wars. The real test of faith? Taking your kids to a theme park where the mascots want you dead. Spoiler. The only thing magical here is how fast joy turns to terror. The Simpsons vacation starts with promise. Bart and Lisa beg to visit Itchy and Scratchy Land, a parody so sharp it mocks Disney's empire while becoming its own dystopia. Marge hopes for wholesome exercise. Homer? He's just here for the $40 churros. But beneath the neon smiles and catchy slogans, violence, it's not just for cartoons. There's a glitch, and it's lethal. The first warning comes from a rogue engineer. All robots turn on their masters always. The staff shrug. 24 hours till they go berserk. Plenty of time. Bart's prank, a stink bomb thrown at a mascot, landing him in a dystopian kiddie jail. Homer's rescue attempt. I kicked a giant mouse in the butt. He protests. Somehow, shocked it backfired. At midnight, the park wakes up. Itchy bots swarm the streets, wielding chainsaws and laser eyes. Scratchy's voice booms, "Welcome to your final episode!" The family runs, but the rides are rigged. Coaster tracks collapse, teacups spin into saw blades, and the log flume. Let's just say you don't want to know what's floating in it. The twist? The robot's weakness is camera flashes. Lisa deduces it, because of course she does. But the real horror isn't the bots, it's the employees. When the family begs a chopper pilot for help, he smirks. You're the idiots who messed with the mouse. Enjoy hell. Even in apocalypses, customer service is a myth. But if you think robot overlords are the last word in horror, wait until Springfield's teachers decide detention isn't enough and students become lunch nightmare cafeteria. When detention meets dinner plate, you trusted them to teach you, to feed you. But in Treehouse of Horror 5, Springfield's educators prove the lunchroom isn't for learning, it's for butchering. Overcrowded detention, budget cuts. Skinner's solution isn't detention slips, it's delinquent slop. When Jimbo Jones mocks lunch lady Doris, Skinner volunteers him for kitchen duty. Spoiler, he's the main course. The horror isn't just the cannibalism, it's the normalization. Teachers joke about grade A meat. Students obliviously chow down. Even Lisa rationalizes it. Maybe Jimbo is finally contributing to society? But when Uther, plump, juicy Uther, goes missing, Bart starts connecting dots and losing his appetite. The climax? Bart, Lisa, and Milhouse discovering the truth. A freezer packed with missing kids. Principal Skinner? Bart gasps. Call me chef, he purrs, wielding a ladle like a machete. The chase is pure terror. Cleavers clattering, lockers slamming, and lunch lady Doris cornering them with a giggle. You love my new recipe, Bratwurst Bart. The escape? A twisted parody of parenting advice. Bart screams, "Don't eat me," as Skinner tackles him, only to be interrupted by the ultimate deus ex machina, a flesh-eating fog. Because in Springfield, even cannibals get upstaged by weather. And there you have it, friends. 8 moments that proved The Simpsons wasn't just a cartoon. It was a fever dream, a warning, a masterclass in how to traumatize kids between commercial breaks. If this video didn't make you question your childhood, do us a favor. Smash that like button until Marge's hair turns grey. Drop a comment telling us which moment scarred you most. Was it Bart's gremlin, the dolphin uprising, or the fact that we're all just sloppy Jimbo? And subscribe, unless you want Chief Wiggum knocking on your door, asking why you skipped the good stuff. And remember, The Simpsons isn't done. There are 30 seasons of nightmares left to uncover. So hit that bell, or next time, the terror might come for you. Thank you. Come again.